Welcome to this tutorial that demonstrates Searchlight Search Find Actions feature, which is available in the enterprise and professional versions of Searchlight. Search Find Actions, which are also known as SFAs, provide an extremely powerful capability that enables one or more user-defined actions to be performed on a file that has been found as part of a search. Search Find Action files and definitions can be created, deleted and edited by selecting the relevant option from the Search Find Actions menu, which is available from Searchlight's top-level Files menu. Before proceeding any further, I'd like to tell you some information that you may find useful. This tutorial makes use of Searchlight's test data that is installed out of the box. When predefined SFAs execute, they typically make changes to the test data, and, as such, they may produce different results if they are rerun. In order to negate this issue, Searchlight provides an option to reset the test data, which can be invoked by selecting the Reset Test Data from Archive option from the top-level configuration menu. In this tutorial, we are going to use Search Find Actions to move files that have a particular file extension into specific directories. For example, we are going to search test data subdirectory, test_files, and move any file with an extension of .doc or .docx into a directory called word_files. We are also going to move other file types, such as Excel spreadsheets, Visio files, text files, plus several more file types, into a directory named in accordance with their file type. In addition, we are also going to configure the SFA engine to delete the found file once it has been successfully copied to its nominated directory. It should be noted that the deletion of a file, once it has been successfully copied via an SFA, is entirely optional and configured within the SFA definition. On the completion of a search, and after any SFAs have been executed, the user has several options that can be performed, either upon all or a subset of the found files, including zipping the files into a single file, encrypting the files, or executing a user-defined batch file against the files. It should be noted that in this example, we do not need to search the contents of files, we just need to determine a file's type, so we can copy it to the appropriate directory. In order to do this, we use Searchlight's powerful filtering mechanism and a filter file called file sort, with a file extension of SFF, which is installed out of the box. The Search Find Actions file that we are going to use for this tutorial is also called file sort, but with a file extension of SFA, and this file is also installed out of the box. Search Find Actions can only be executed when they are linked to a saved search definition. As such, for this demonstration, the saved search definition file sort is used, which is installed out of the box. In this tutorial, we utilize the SFA, copy found file to directory. However, before starting the demonstration, it's worth highlighting that SFAs can perform many useful actions, not just the copying of a found file to a directory, including apply a regular expression to data found within a file, delete, redact and replace text that has been found within a file, send an email with the found file attached, copy a found file to a nominated file, plus more. So, before we begin the demonstration, let's recap the three main tasks that this demonstration will do. Step 1. The search engine will be invoked, and by using Searchlight's powerful filtering mechanism, will identify files with certain file extensions. Step 2. On finding a targeted file, the search engine will tag it with a string, representing the type of file found. Step 3. On completion of the search Find Actions engine, by inspecting the tag associated with each found file, will copy it to a directory named in accordance with its file type. As mentioned previously, when predefined SFAs are rerun, they may yield different results, because a previous run of a SFA may have altered the test data. Therefore, before beginning this demonstration, I will reset the test data by selecting the Reset Test Data from Archive option from the top-level configuration menu. So, now that we've reset the test data, let's start by first selecting the Search This Computer icon from the main Searchlight screen, whereupon the compound search screen is presented. On opening this dialog, the default search definition, as indicated by the default checkbox being checked, is loaded, which in this case, is a search definition named postcode search. For this demonstration, we are going to use the pre-loaded saved search definition named file sort, which we can load by selecting the load button, and then selecting the file sort saved search definition from the list of saved search definitions listed. If you haven't already, then please watch the Searchlight Search Screen tutorial that provides a good oversight of the compound search screen displayed here. As mentioned earlier, in order to copy files, based on their file extension to a nominated directory, we don't have to search the contents of the file. As such, in this case we have defined a filters file named file sort. On clicking the filters file pencil icon, the filters file is presented, where it can be seen, a file filter has been defined for each file type of interest. These filters are all of the same format, so let's look at one of them to see how they function. On double-clicking the filter, with a filter value of .doc, the filter definition dialog is presented. It can be seen that this filter is focused on the file name, because the filter type drop-down list has the value file name. We then see that the filter match condition drop-down list has the value, ends with, and the filter is set to .doc. Finally, the search find action tag for this filter is set to Word file. So, this filter will be triggered if during a search, a file name is found with a file extension of .doc. Furthermore, if such a file is found, then it will be tagged with the string Word file. The most important thing to remember about these filter definitions is that these filters all have a search find action tag defined. It is this tag that provides the link between a file that has been found, either by a search word search, or a matching filter condition, and the search find actions to be performed upon the found file. The bottom half of the filter screen defines what combination of filter matches have to have been found in order for the trigger to yield a positive response. There is a separate tutorial that fully describes Searchlight's filtering mechanism. For this tutorial, we can leave the bottom of the filter screen with its default values. So, we can now exit the filter screen and return to the compound search screen. It's worth noting here that the What to Search For drop-down list has the value file names filtered. This instructs the Searchlight search engine to process files only in accordance with the filter definitions, and not to search the contents of files. Looking towards the center of the screen, we see that the search find actions file sort, has been defined and enabled. In order to view the contents of this search find actions file, we select the search find actions pencil icon, whereupon the maintaining search find actions screen is presented. This list defines the search find actions to be performed upon a found file that has been tagged accordingly. To see this, select the top definition, listed with the tag of Word file, whereupon the editing search find actions screen is displayed. If you recall from earlier, if a file with the file extension of .doc was found, then it would be tagged with the string Word file. The search find action shown here has the action type drop-down list set to tag equals a tag value of Word file and an action to copy the found file to a directory called Word_files. As such, if Searchlight finds a file and tags it with the string Word file, then the search find action engine would execute any SFA with a matching tag of Word file. In this search find action definition, it can also be seen that once a file has been copied to the Word_files directory, it must be deleted. Everything is now set to execute the search definition file sort, which will identify files having a certain file extension through the use of filters, and then apply any search find action against the found file, where the search find action tag matches the tag of the found file. However, before starting the process, let's take a look at the target search directory, named test_files, that contains all of the files that we are going to move and subsequently delete. Now, let's look into the directories where we are going to move files to, and verify that they don't contain any files. In order to see the SFA process in action, the contents of the test_files directory is displayed in Windows File Explorer. If you recall, we set up the search find actions, such that when a file had been identified, by one of the filter actions defined, the file is then copied to its respectively named directory, and then deleted. So, by positioning into the directory test_files, we will see the list of files gradually reduce as the files get deleted, once they have been moved, as part of the SFA action. So, let's now invoke the file_sort process. The process begins by performing a search, which will be quite quick as we are only filtering files on their file extension, we are not searching their contents. As the SFAs execute, we can see the number of files in the test_files directory gradually get deleted, until none remain. Now all of the files have been deleted, we would expect, according to the search find actions we defined, to find all of the deleted files in their respectively named directory. So, if we now look into all of the subdirectories within the test data file types directory, we can see that they all contain files with a type that is in accordance with the name of the directory that they are in. If we now return to Searchlight, and select Yes from the Search Summary dialog, the search results screen is presented, and, on selecting the Log File button, the search log is displayed. If we now scroll down, we can see a list of all of the file name filters that were applied as part of this search. If we scroll down a bit further, we see the full path name of all of the files found, and by scrolling even further down, we see the Search Find Actions summary. This summary lists all of the actions that were taken by the SFA engine upon files found, as part of the file sort search definition. For instance, looking at the first line, we see that the file, Access Database 1, was copied to the directory, files types \access files. The second line reports that this Microsoft Access Database file was then deleted from the directory, test_files. The identification, copying, and subsequent deletion of this Access Database file is in accordance with the search find action, defined as part of the file sort, saved search definition described earlier. Looking further down the search find actions summary list, it can be seen that other types of files were also processed in a similar way, as defined by their respective search find action definition. If we go back to the search results screen, by selecting the back button, we can view a summary of the search find actions executed, by selecting the search find actions radio button. I hope that through this demonstration, you can appreciate how easy it is, using SFAs, to selectively collate files into specific directories. It's worth remembering that although this tutorial moved files, by identifying them according to their file extension, by using a filters file, they could have also been moved depending upon their content, if we had searched the contents of the files, using a file of search words instead. I hope that through this tutorial, you can now appreciate the immense power and possibilities that the Search Find Actions capability offers, especially when combined with Searchlight's powerful filtering mechanism. Well, that concludes this tutorial on Searchlight's Search Find Actions capability. I hope you found it useful, And don't forget to check out the many other Searchlight tutorials available. And thank you for watching.